you so much for joining me on my program once again. I appreciate you wherever you're joining me from. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Accept my greeting according to your time zone. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please kindly subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell so that you'll be notified each time I upload a video. You can be among the first to receive it. Then go to the comment section at all time. Leave your comment, drop your contribution. If you have suggestions, make it out there. If you have any criticism, put it down on the comment section. It will make us to get better, presenting you a better program.
Let's go to the crux of the day. The issue of the ethnic tension. You know, the outcome of this 2023 election. We saw the meeting with Iwanyanwo a few days ago, and you know, the outburst of whether he called Yorubas rascals or not. But before that, prior to that, there have been a lot of tension. There's been a lot of, you know, aggression in terms of people's expression on what happened during the election, especially in Lagos State. How do you look at that outcome?
Well, you know, I had a group of friends, very brilliant minds from both Nnamdi University and University of Nigeria, my own university. We had a period of almost 6-7 hours in my house, you know, brainstorming. Whether indeed wasn't General Gowon right in 1966 when he said there was no basis for Nigerian unity? 67 years after he said that, where are we? It's difficult to believe that we now have racial, you know, ethnic racial profiling of a group of people in this country that have made more contribution. I've said it on this platform. I have no apologies to offer to anybody in this country. Igbos have made more contribution than any tribe for the sustenance of this country. And I give examples. If Zik did not do what he did in 1958, 57, 58, when the British was ready to give us independence, they not said they weren't ready. Awolowo almost forced Zik. Let them go. Let us go on our own. And Zik said no. That particular insistence meant that we had our independence in 1960. The West would have gone, the East would have gone. But Zik said no. One Nigeria will be better for everybody. And there have been so many sacrifices people have made along the way to make this country one. And you see, even more painful is that all over, we have destroyed the dreams of our leaders, from Chukwuma Kaduna to Brigadier General Mai Malari, to Ahmadu Bello, to Tafawa Balewa, to Gunewe, to Ifajuna, to Colonel Onwatebu. These are brilliant people we have killed, and we have refused to dream. That is why we are where we are. We destroyed the dreams of Nigerian leaders and have refused to dream ourselves for the future of this country. And therefore, how do you look at it when we have refused to dream? How do you intend to develop? How do you intend to move forward? How do we? It is difficult to imagine what is happening in this country today. And like if you go to 1 Corinthians 8:11, it tells you, if you don't speak, be mindful of what you say, so that what you say will not offend the weak. And when you don't speak, it means there's a complete complicity. Because the evildoers go on doing what they are doing. Because in this country we have a tendency for having an instinct for reflective survival. Everybody wants some kind of survival. And it is that rhetoric that has brought us where we are. And to make matters worse, in the eight years now trying to finish, I think this is the worst government in terms of individual leadership this country has ever had. So I don't know how this is going to be sorted out. But I will say from the platform of my party, I did not expect them to have done what they did recently, suspending. I know that was we needed a period of reflection. This is the time, if I was national chairman, I would have flown to Port Harcourt, sit down with Mwike. I'm telling you, call all the governors. I mean, I had said on this platform, they had invited me to their meetings, and I saw what they were talking about. I didn't support Atiku. I said it on this platform. I supported Mwike because of my friend, the Enugu governor of Enugu State, because they said the South would produce a president. All Southern governors did agree, both APC and PDP. But when things happened the way they did, and I said, well, now the party has a candidate, and we all turned to support Atiku. And the Rivers governor invited me to Port Harcourt, and we spent almost 2 hours analyzing all. A brilliant guy. People take him for granted, and I'm not one of those who take anybody for granted. Like he said yesterday, the battle hasn't ended, and it's unfortunate that the party is making it easier for him or for the battle to continue. Because I will stop this battle very easy. It's easy to stop it if people will remove arrogance, arrogance of power. Arrogance of power, that is the most dangerous thing you have in society. We are this, we are this, what we are going to do. Look at where the party is now. We have about 11 states. From what? From 20-something states, how many years ago? People should be reflecting on this. How does it help us for tomorrow?
But Chief, people would have said that if it was easy to stop, perhaps it should have stopped before now, before degenerating into this.
Yeah, because like I said, the attitude to stop it was not applied. All through this period, we said who will win. When you start suspending people, you're telling them that you have power, you have authority. And the matter is now being complicated. You have to go to appeal court to remove what was done at the High Court in Benue. And from there, you go to Supreme Court. That's all in PDP. We don't need that. We need some level of strategic planning.
Especially when you have an election.
An election coming on the 15th of April. We need some level of strategic thinking. Not strategic powering. Who is stronger than this? Who is more distant than this? I don't like that stuff, because where we are is not comfortable. It's absolutely not comfortable.
All right, so let's go back to the ethnic profiling, which this election seemed to have thrown up, and even though we saw the attackers in Lagos, for instance, and in some other parts of the country as people who are on the streets, who are called political thugs, but then they said it is the hand of Esau that is being seen, or is it the hand of Esau and the body of Jacob, or whichever one it goes? Because people are thinking that it is the political class, really, politicians, who are fanning the embers of this ethnicity, telling people, okay, if you go there, look at this person, you look at the face and the shape of the person, and then you're able to say where the person is from, and then you stop the person from voting. So what do we do about the political class, which seem to be fanning the embers of ethnicity in the country at the moment?
I will answer that by simply making a phraseology. Nigerian politicians are involved in what I call toxic stash and burn politics, and it's very dangerous to stash and then at the same time burn. That's why I made a reference of having a reflective instinct towards self-preservation. And when you want to self-preserve, you can kill. You don't have any other resort than to self-preserve, and that's what is going on in this country. On this platform some 2-3 years ago, I mentioned something, that we're gradually moving into Afghanistan. I think we're worse than Afghanistan today. All your stations, all television stations, newspapers, there's no day you don't run 300-400 people killed. It's not a duty to hear that Nigerians are dying on a daily basis, pregnant women, children, all manner of persons dying, and nobody appears to be concerned. But I want to say something following the question you asked. It didn't start today. About 4 or 5 years ago, a group of Northerners had the temerity of purpose under this government to ask Igbos to leave the North, gave us a date to leave the North. This government, as I speak up to today, did not make any statement about it. In 2015, Igbos in Lagos voted for a Yoruba man, but not the liking of the Oba of Lagos, and the Oba of Lagos had the temerity of purpose to say the Igbos will drown in the lagoon of Lagos. I'm Oba in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. As I speak, neither the Lagos State government nor the Federal Government of Nigeria had made any comment about it. And when I see the DSS talking about hate, warning people a few days ago about hate speech and hate that, and you wonder where they have been all these years. It is reflective, because I come from a political family, and I say it without apologies. Igbos have made more contribution than any tribe in this country, and I say it with 1 or 2 references. In 1937, I have said this on this platform, Ahmadu Bello ran for the Sultan of Sokoto, and he failed. His brothers organized and sent him to Guzo High Court, Magistrate Court, to be jailed for tax evasion. In 1937, my father was just about 3 or 4 years in the North then trading. It was the best friend of Ahmadu Bello, who was an Easterner, somebody from Anambra State, Chifokonkwo, now late, who organized Igbos, including my father. 8 of them contributed £2 in 1937. My father, Konkwo Kano, went to Lagos to hire H.O. Davis. And then some other went to Onisha to get one Onisha lawyer who had just come back, Ebuna. And they came to Guzo to free Ahmadu Bello. But you see how the Sultaners, the Northerners, or the Fulanis work. Soon after that, they made him the Sultan of Sokoto and pushed him into politics. The latest history. No Northerner did that. That was the beginning of the NCNC-NPC alliance that later, after the Civil War, you heard of the NPP-MPN alliance. Ahmadu Bello never forgot that. Never forgot that. So why I'm saying this is that Igbos built a secondary school early 50s in Kano. More than 60% of people going to school there were Northerners. This is love of country. Somebody who comes to your place to develop that place, live with you, marry your daughter, name your children on your language. You won't say that person hates you. But come to the whole of Eastern region today. As I speak today, you do not have any responsible, and I underline the word responsible, Yoruba man living in the East. Not one. If you see one, it'll be somebody, he's a tailor. You won't know when he comes and when he goes. You will not see a responsible Northerner living in the whole of Eastern region. You will see a few that are selling bureau de change. You will know when they come, you will know when they go. But when an Igbo man identifies with a community, he will buy land, he will build, he will develop, he will marry. What other commitment do they want us to give them in this country to show one Nigeria? What other commitment? And then when we want to exercise our franchise, it becomes a crime for you to vote, not even for a non-Yoruba, but for a Yoruba that is not of their own approval. So what I'm saying is that maybe after all, Gowon was right that there was no basis for Nigerian unity. That is where they are pushing up.
Okay.
They don't understand where they are going to. Now, this government said that after all the appeals for them to release Nnamdi Kanu, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria told the Ezife delegation that it's now a matter of, it's a judicial process. The Nigerian judiciary has made a pronouncement, appeal court for that matter. And this government is still holding in Nnamdi Kanu. And I want to ask all progressive Nigerians, that we are the tipping point. Let them not push our people to the wall. Let Nigeria, whomsoever constitutes himself into Nigeria, not put Igbos to the wall. We will not take it anymore. We will not take it anymore.
All right. Let me come in here, Chief, so that I know that your emotions are heightened now. But let's come back to the reason why we're here having this conversation, and it is to find solutions and to make recommendations on what's the way forward. I raise this because people like Bayo Nanuga, MC Lomo, all those comments that they have made, people are expecting the president-elect, to have come out to say, we are on the path of healing, which he has alluded to, and these statements cannot hold. There was a question Nkoli asked about the political responsibility of our politicians in this space. What can be done in terms of bridging this gap? Because whether we like it or not, we're still Nigeria, and the effects of these outcomes resonates more with the young Nigerians, the youths that are out there, and they never experienced the civil war. A lot of people would always allude to. But in order not to heighten the emotions that affected those times, how do we bridge the gap? What's the way forward? Without necessarily looking at the aftermath of what has happened, in terms of saying we have had enough of this. Yes, it's happened. Yes, it is still continuing. But what must be done in order to achieve the unity that Nigeria deserves?
This is why I said that the spoken word is even more dangerous than anything else. Igbos have a saying that it's the spoken words that is the mind that you do not see. Because if you have everything in your mind, nobody knows what is in your mind, nobody knows what you're planning. But once you make a comment, comments have been made in this country, like Shetima said that Peter Obi will be an Igbo president. I didn't support Peter Obi, but he dare not make that kind of statement. Peter had every right to run for office. I said why his running would be, prejudicial to PDP, and it was prejudicial to PDP and to himself too. But nobody dared ask his authority, his privilege to want to run for any office in this country, because we had thought that this country belongs to all of us. So that spoken word shows that there are people who they believe are Nigerians, others are not Nigerians.